David K, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from YouTube asked, can you power rank your title contenders? David, this was a good question. It was also a mean question. I want to point out none of this is written in stone, mostly because we know that there are some trades that could still go down this year. And I really have to sit and think even more about it. And I came up with my top 7, and it might even be top 8. And it's prided on the roster staying the same right now. It took me forever to put them in the right order. So as of now, I have the Nuggets at 1. I think that with the defense, they're going to get from KCP and Bruce Brown, it adds layers to their rotation. The bench still worries me a little bit, but you're getting back Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. Health concerns, sure. I don't really care about Jamal Murray. He's going to be fine. ACLs aren't the injuries that they used to be. He is just an absolute workaholic and a super tough guy. Their roster's so well balanced near the top that I think this is the year for them. And I'm rolling the dice on MPJ and Jamal Murray both staying relatively, if not super healthy, being able to take the load off Jokic. I'm also banking on, we know Murray's played, even as inconsistent as he's been, at a sustained all-star level on offense. I'm betting on Michael Porter Jr. getting back to the 2020, 2021 season that earned him the max extension, not fully guaranteed, but that large extension he signed. The Nuggets there's some matchups I don't love for them, including this next team. But I think that they're going to take a lot of people off guard. And it's wild to me that when we're talking about the top 5 or so teams, that I don't hear them mentioned enough, at least nationally. Denver fans, Nuggets fans, there are a lot of smart basketball fans in general that know how good they could be. I have the Warriors at 2, and you give them the benefit of the doubt. I think Steph is maybe the second best player in the NBA right now, one of the 3 best players for sure. I have Giannis at number 1, and then I haven't really gone through who I have after that. I think that Klay Thompson's going to have a better year than he did like the partial season plus playoffs he was back, just having more game time under his legs. Draymond Green, there are going to be moments where he's maddeningly bad on offense, but he is a transcendent defender. They have Kevon Looney back. You lose Otto Porter Jr. That worries me a little bit. You also lost Gary Payton II. That worries me a lot as well when looking at their defense. But you signed Dante DiVincenzo, who's just an otherworldly fit for them. I like the Jermichael Green addition. I don't think he's going to give you as much as Otto Porter did, but he certainly replaces Bjelica there. Where I do worry, and why I don't have this team at number 1, and why I'm not even sure I want to put them at number 2, is Steph feels like their only certifiable star on the roster, and they are going to be relying more on kids. What does Wiseman look like? How much is Kuminga playing? I think Moody, just based off somebody like that dude is ready. He's going to plug right in rotation and be fine. Does Jordan Poole have a nice follow-up campaign? Those are still questions, but the Warriors played fantastic basketball last season. They won the title. They beat really good teams to get there, including that Boston Celtics squad. I just think that they do deserve a level of the benefit of the doubt here. I have the Celtics. I have the Bucks at number 3. There's the Chris Middleton injury to think about. Their bench depth isn't spectacular either, but Brook Lopez, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. It's tough to cobble together a 4-man combination in the league that has the possibility of being better than that quartet. I think Chris Middleton needs to be healthy. That's a big one. I think the Bucks are probably coming out of the East if he stays healthy in the playoffs. I don't mean any disrespect to Celtics fans there. I do have the Celtics at number 4. The Malcolm Brogdon addition is just perfect. They have 8 ridiculously good players on their team now. And here's the other thing. None of them are bad defenders. I think you can quibble over whether you think Malcolm Brogdon is an average defender or an above average defender, but Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams III, Al Horford, Grant Williams, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, that 8-man rotation is all really good defenders. I still think it would be nice if they had like a primary table setter that fits that bill in every sense of the word, but it's 2022. I don't want to find synonyms for conventional point guard is my point here. So I just think that they're deeper, and Tatum and Brown are still young so that either of them can get better. Robert Williams III could get better and be healthier. They're in the East. It's the Bucks and the Celtics and everyone else right now to me. I have the Clippers at number 5. This one was tough. Even if I'm giving benefit of the doubt to Kawhi and Paul George to remain healthy, I need to see what John Wall looks like on this team. Can they add the element of speed that he brings because I know they like to slow down, but does he also give them just someone who can take them through the motions of their offense in general, which is things that they need at times when the half court sets bogged down, and you just need someone on a different level as a facilitator, as a rim pressure guy from Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So I like the addition, but there's some questions here for me, but they're a deep team. They are so deep, and they're deep with wings too. And now that they could trade a future first round pick, I keep an eye on them or the trade market. They're a team that could slingshot up my rankings by offseason's end. And I think that they're going to be a lot of people's titles pick. And I can't go against it. I have the Suns at number 6. And again, this is pre-KD trade if they're able to pull it off. Some of their key members, including Devin Booker, are young enough that they're going to continue to get better. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton's back. You can't running this thing back almost exactly, adding, Josh Okogie, having Damian Lee. Okay, fine. Bringing back Bismack Biyombo, you lose JaVale McGee. Dario Saric could be healthy. That's going to be different. Does Landry Shamet have a more consistent season where he actually feels present on the court a little bit more? Perhaps. This team is still going to be really good. Chris Paul's another year older. They just put together one of the most dominant regular seasons ever, really, and then proceeded to get bounced in the second round by being trucked by the Dallas Mavericks. It feels, I don't think it's stale. We're in year 2 of this CP3 core, but just the circumstances by which we've gotten here, they worry me. And if you stay the same with the Nuggets and the Clippers getting healthier, the Warriors even being healthier, like we didn't see Wiggins, Draymond, Clay, and Steph play together basically until the playoffs. It's just not the time to have stood pat and made marginal, if no improvements. So that's why the KD trade for them specifically looms big. I have the Sixers at number 7 to round out my list. I think James Harden's going to have a bounce back year. They're a team that could climb these rankings. He might be a really good dark horse MVP bet. I haven't looked at those odds specifically yet. Maybe he's high enough. Just the fact that he took a pay cut, which I don't necessarily advocate for, but he said that he was considering it, and he did what he said that he was going to do. And then there's reports about him being in shape and healthy, and we don't really hear anything about James Harden's fitness over the offseason. I feel like something has finally clicked for him, that he knows he's not going to be able to skate by asking out from these teams, and that he's going to be under even more of a microscope now because he forced his way to Brooklyn, a place he wanted to be with teammates he wanted to play alongside, and then forced his way out. I actually don't have a problem with his decision because clearly Brooklyn is a dumpster fire, and I wouldn't want to have Kyrie Irving, tie my livelihood to Kyrie Irving at all. So I think that, is fine, but I just feel like something's going to click with him. And you talk about now, if Embiid's healthy, Tyrese Maxey is your third option. We saw him flourish last year when that happened. I think the roster's a lot deeper and more well-balanced. They have perimeter defenders who are actually mobile in PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, Daniel House. All of those guys should be able to shoot the 3 ball at a high clip. Tobias Harris quietly had some really nice moments in the postseason as well. This team, it'll be tough for them to make any major changes over the course of the regular season, but they're not barren of salary matching tools. So, and they can trade some first round equity. They're just a team I'm watching. And then I threw an 8 here. I don't trust this pick because I do think they'll break it up, but the Nets have to be somewhere. I don't trust them. And if you said KD and Kyrie stayed in Brooklyn, I'm not going to pick them to win the title. I don't think I'd have them in my top 5, but we got to talk about them. Just having KD, Kyrie, Nick Claxton coming back, Ben Simmons, I forgot about him. You bring Patty Mills back. Cam Thomas might have a pretty big breakout year. They really like Daron Sharp. Maybe he gets more run. Joe Harris being healthy is huge. Seth Curry and Harris are both the ideal superstar complements on the offensive end. I think, again, if they keep this team together, I even love the Royce O'Neal fit. I think he'll be better on defense than people are crediting. It's just he was in Utah where he was over-leveraged for years on end when looking at the perimeter. I don't know that they have enough defense. If they hit on the TJ Warren signing, though, while keeping Kyrie and KD, and then Ben Simmons is healthy and on the court, they're a team with championship upside. I would never invest in it if everyone stays together, but they do need to be mentioned. Fascinating question. It's subject to change, and my title pick, I'm not making a title pick, though I'm ranking my title contenders. I'll make my title pick closer to the regular season. I don't even know if anyone cares about my title pick, but I just want that on this record.